Well, apparently my mic didn't decide to record any of that. So I guess this is take two? Great. Welcome back to Ruby on Nails, and today it is a glasses day because spring has sprung and my face is really itchy. But besides that, and yeah, you're gonna have to deal with the glare because I don't know how to fix that with the lighting that I have. So just deal with it. I'm gonna try to get on my allergy routine and hopefully we can go back to contacts. But today I have a very fun little tutorial for you. It is a Starburst Reverse Gradient tutorial just so we can get an introduction on how to reverse gradients here on Ruby on Nails. I know there are lots of tutorials out there, but I thought it would be fun to show you how I do it because I found that a lot of people do it in many different ways and it's always unique to the person who is showing you, and that doesn't always work for everybody. So I'm gonna give it my little spin and we'll see if you like it, if it's easy to follow. So I am going to be making this gradient today, and it's a fun little starburst pattern. I find that this is definitely the easiest way to dip your toes into reverse gradienting. It doesn't require any fancy nail vinyls. This is something that you could very much do at home with limited materials, so you don't have to sink in any special cost into this. So today that is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk you through that, and it doesn't need a super long introduction, so let's just jump into that tutorial. Pew. You know, I could totally be like a professional sound effect artist with like just my mouth, because I make real good pew 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 noises. I'm going to be starting off with my favorite 2 base coat combo. This is just something I personally do because 1, murder bags gotta grow with all these peelies, and 2, I like to have a nice smooth canvas for all of my nail art because this is art, so why not start off on the right foot? Fun fact about me, despite being right-handed, I am left-footed dominant. That's just a weird tidbit and it made softball really weird. I'm going to be starting off this nail art tutorial with 2 coats of Lemon Sucker by Holotaco, and a reason why you're seeing these Holotaco linear holographic polishes yet again on my channel is because I find this formula to be extremely good when creating gradients, and especially gradients that you're going to be layering on top of each other. As you can see from the image of this video, the gradients range from a very light yellow, which is this Lemon Sucker, to a dark purple, and I need to be able to cover that quickly and easily, and the Holotaco linear holographic polishes work excellently for that. Oh, and looky here, we got ourselves a new liquid latex. This one is the Liquid Lace by Twinkle Tea, and I really like this formula. I know I've shown a couple of brands that I don't necessarily like, but I do really enjoy this one. It is thin, yet it is very strong, and I feel like I don't need to layer this up so much, despite its very thin formula. I like the brush a lot. I found it was a little bit stiffer than the Holotaco one, but overall, I really like it and recommend it. So moving on to the very first gradient that we're going to be applying, I am going to be applying this in kind of a rainbow order. I didn't want to use a whole bunch of colors, so today I'm just going to be layering the very edges of each color, so despite not using an orange polish, we are going to have orange and green visible here on this gradient. And you know, it's just a fun way to make sure that I'm getting all of the colors that I actually want onto my nail instead of forcing every single color of the rainbow onto my sponge. And I did trim my nails so they're a little bit shorter, and it does make it a little bit more crowded than usual, but that's not going to stop me from getting my full-on rainbow gradient on, because a little bit of rainbow spices up my life just the right amount. Do keep in mind that you do not want to oversaturate your sponge when applying layers. We want these layers to dry rapidly in between applications, so we aren't going to be smudging anything. And the best way to make sure you're not oversaturating your sponge is to make sure that your sponge is just soaking up the majority of the product. If the product is just sitting on the very surface of the sponge, you've applied too much. It's better to do a little bit at a time than to oversaturate that baby and smear your beautiful gradient, because looky here, after 3 applications we get a nice smooth gradient with all the colors in the rainbow, just like that. I also want to mention that the Liquid Lace by Twinkle Tea does have a tendency to kind of stick and pull apart at the very edge of your nail, so that is the one con that I see in comparison to the Holotaco Peely Latex. Just something to note yourself. Once my gradient has dried, I am going to apply a quick dry top coat, because we are going to be using nail vinyls and we want to make sure that this beautiful baby doesn't get peeled up by our nail vinyls. Do you know how sad that would be if you ruined your gradient like that? And of course, we gotta wait for that top coat to dry. So here is a cute video of Bimo doing some puppy push-ups to earn her dinner. She gets really excited, so she doesn't always go to a full down or a full sit, and you can just see that little tongue flip, little licky lick, because she's super excited. I have a pill pocket in my hand, and it's one of her favorite treats on the planet. And sometimes when she's had kind of a rowdy day or a calm day, I will do this kind of puzzle feeding. It's a cheap puzzle feeding because honestly you don't need to get those fancy puzzles to entertain your dog. I just fold up some kibble in a blanket, put some heavy toys on top, and then I also wrap some kibble up in a towel and she has to shake it all apart. And then I also put some kibble in a box, and it is her least favorite thing to do. As you can see, she hasn't even touched it yet. She goes for the easier stuff first, and at the very end she makes her way into that box, and it's just like a fun way to keep her entertained. This takes her about 16 minutes to do in total, but yeah, very happy and tired dog afterwards because she gotta use her brain and she's not used to that. Moving right along, after about 15 to 20 minutes waiting for our nails to fully dry, we're gonna move on to the nail tape. This one is just from Amazon. I think I got it in a bulk package. I don't quite remember because I've had it for that long. I'm going to apply one stripe right down the middle, and I like doing this first just that way I can get a good kind of eyeball measurement of where all of my other tape pieces are going to go. And then I'm going to have them cross over at the very tip of my nail and kind of radiate out. You can add as many or as few nail vinyls to your Starburst as you like. This can also depend on how long your nails are, though I do think that this kind of reverse gradient looks really good on shorter nails. And you know, it's just, you're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side because the Starburst kind of mirrors each other. So just watch the video because explaining this in words is kind of complicated and too much for my baby brain. Wow, it looks so nice. Now we're going to apply the next gradient, and we're just going to do it in reverse order than what we did in the very beginning, because that's how reverse gradients work. So you could just flip your sponge over. However, personally, I like to cut off that used bit and then reapply my gradient and make some adjustments if I think my first gradient was kind of lacking in some spaces. But I'm just, you know, gonna apply the color, make sure that it gets nice and soaked in. And you can see it kind of oversaturated the red a little bit, but it's soaked in eventually, so it still works just fine. And because these colors are, oh my god, I forgot the liquid latex. Oh no, it's everywhere. Well, wipe that off and we'll try it again with liquid latex. So as you can see, the Holotaco polishes are really opaque and they make it super easy to just cover everything up. I honestly probably could have stopped at 2 sponged on layers, but I wanted to make sure that everything was really saturated and opaque. So I went ahead and applied a 3rd layer, and as you can see, it just fully covers up that gradient that we had underneath it. Maybe there's a little bit of purple poking out from underneath the red, but you really cannot tell in person. And then once that's done, you just peel everything away and ba-bam! It's a reverse gradient, and you did it all by yourself. Be proud for you. Give yourself a round of applause. Clap, 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 clap. See, I could be a sound effects artist with just my mouth. So I hope this tutorial made it super easy for you to kind of grasp how I personally do reverse gradients. I've seen them a couple different ways. I think Simply kind of does them a different way, and I think Kelly Marissa also does it a different way. I mean, they're all essentially the same process, but we all have our own little preferences, and this one is mine. So once you're happy with your design, just apply a glossy top coat on top of it. And if you used creams, these look awesome with a matte top coat, so I would definitely suggest that you give that a try too, because now you know the basics. Isn't that great? And oh my god, look how pretty it looks against that red background. Oh my. I love it. It's just so fun and rainbowy and gradienty and nail vinyl-y. It's just everything I love in a nail art look. Look at that hollow. It's so good. So now that you've seen the tutorial, let me know what you think. Has reverse gradienting been something you've tried before? Have you ever struggled with it? Have you found something that works for you? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. I always find it incredibly helpful for not only myself, but for everybody else in the community to see how everybody does their own kind of thing. You know, we pool all of our information together, and then that way everybody can do nail art, because everybody should. It's really fun. If you like this video, and if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe. I'm here every week, sometimes twice a week. That's how it's been lately. But yeah, definitely you're welcome to stay, and I wouldn't say no to that. But with all of that said and done, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Pew pew. Finger gun. Pew 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 pew. Bang bang bang.